Nekkal millionaire at Afiso. $3.6 million is to give away. Simply buy a minimum of $10 in credit or data worth $10 to stand a chance of being a millionaire. To enter the weekly and monthly draw, send WIN by SMS to 772 or just call 772 for free. Remember, the more you buy credit or data, the more your chances of being a millionaire. Be that Nekkal millionaire at Afiso, right?
Hello and welcome to Star TV Newsroom, broadcasting from our studios in Kanifing along the Battle-Hardened Highway. I am Maimunaju Fodera, and many thanks indeed for joining us. First, the headlines tonight. WACA hosts Gender Responsive 2025 to 2029 Climate Action Plan Validation Workshop. NEA gathers stakeholders to validate 2025 anti-littering regulations. Gambia's first Arts Academy marks 2 years of inspiring transformation through creativity. UNO Group launches Work for Health to promote wellness among staffs. On the international news, ICJ hearing UN court examines humanitarian duties of Israel. BRICS foreign ministers meet in Brazil. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The West Africa Coastal Areas Resilience Investment Project 2, spearheaded by the Gambia's Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, has organized a one-day validation workshop for the National Gender and Climate Change Action Plan. This pivotal initiative is part of the Gambia's forthcoming Climate Action Plan 2025 to 2029, designed to integrate gender-responsive strategies into national climate resilience and policy frameworks. Well, Omar Job attended the event and he prepared this report.
The workshop gathered a diverse range of stakeholders working on gender and climate change issues, fostering meaningful discussions on finalized action plan. This collaborative effort marks a significant step in addressing the intersect challenges of climate change, gender inequality, and social inclusion within the Gambia's development agenda. Speaking on behalf of the WACA project coordinator, Mr. Masane LCC emphasized the project's commitment to transformative consultancy. He highlighted that this validation process underscores the collective dedication to advancing climate action alongside gender equality and social inclusion.
The WACA project feels honored to support this transformative consultancy because it demonstrates our shared dedication to tackle climate change issues alongside gender equality and social inclusion advancement. The action plan development marks an important achievement for the Gambia as it moves towards constructing a sustainable future that includes everyone. This plan combines climate action with gender responsive strategy to guarantee that all communities benefit from our resilient efforts. The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and the team of consultants as well as stakeholders deserve recognition for their hard work, which resulted in the completion of this action plan.
Director of Gender at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Marian Jabang, praised the initiative as being aligned with the ministry's core mission. She emphasized its dedication to equity, inclusiveness, and safeguarding the rights of women and children.
I would like to commend the WACA project because, as you may know, this is in line with our ministry's mission to contribute to the development of the Gambia through the principle of equity, inclusiveness, and equality, at the same time protecting the rights of women and children and the integration and protection of vulnerable and excluded groups, including people living with disabilities. Through appropriate policies and strategies and the adequate resources, the WACA project will no doubt thrive and work hand in hand with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. This validation, therefore, signifies the great importance that the ministry and its partners places in the socio-economic role that women continue to play in climate change, water, and fisheries sector, because gender equality and women's economic empowerment is central in the transformative climate-smart value chain, as it is not only a matter of advocating for their needs, but also a precondition for sustainable development.
Mariama Ndaujaju, Director of the Central Project Coordinating Unit, CPCU, stressed the importance of critical analysis during the validation process. She urged participants to contribute meaningful insight, ensuring that the action plan's objectives are effectively implemented. The National Gender and Climate Change Action Plan stands as a testament to the Gambia's unwavering resolve to combat climate change while promoting gender equity and sustainable development. This validated blueprint paves the way for a more resilient and inclusive future for all Gambians. For Star TV, this is Omar Diop.
On Tuesday, the National Environment Agency, in collaboration with key partners, gathered at the local hotel for a pivotal event aimed at validating the draft anti-littering regulations 2025. This session assembled a diverse group of stakeholders, including government officials, environmental activists, and community representatives, all united in their commitment to combat littering and promote sustainable practice. Michael tells us more.
The initiative underscores the mounting urgency for robust regulatory measures to address the Gambia's littering crisis, affecting both urban hubs and rural landscapes. The proposed regulation aims to deter littering through strengthening penalties while nurturing a culture of environmental stewardship through public engagement and awareness. Mohamed Leroy Gomez, environmental specialist with the WACA project, emphasized the multidimensional framework of the initiative during his remarks. The WACA project encompasses key strategy components designed to bolster environmental resilience.
The WACA project has 4 components, and the first component has to do with regional integration. The second component has to do with policy and institutional strengthening. The third is physical and social investments, and the fourth is project management unit. So we are here, and then we wish to also underscore and reiterate our support for NEA, National Environment Agency, and all the implementing partners of the WACA project, and of all relevant stakeholders. So
in light of increasing investment from the central government and private sector, the National Environment Agency is proactively building a regulatory foundation to ensure compliance and preserve the nation's ecological heritage. Barrister Lamin Samate, NEA's Environmental Quality Program Manager, highlighted the persistent challenges in tackling environmental issues, underscoring the need for more robust legislative instruments.
We are all aware that environmental issues are quite challenging, and they have been challenging not just now. It's just that the challenge has increased because we are in a world where global challenge keep increasing each and every day, and that includes environment. The issue of climate change, the issue of environmental pollution, etc., etc. These are things that have been happening, and they've become complex. Management.
The collaborative spirit was palpable during the validation session as stakeholders engaged in vibrant discussion, presenting innovative feedback to refine the draft regulations. Barrister Samate further stressed the imperative of comprehensive legislative framework to safeguard the Gambia's environmental future, reflecting the momentum and determination driving the NEA's vision.
So therefore, the law that establishes a requirement for projects to undergo environmental screening has to be a robust legislation that is able to address those issues, effectively and efficiently, so that we have projects being implemented in an environmental sustainable manner. So that review, like I said earlier, all of us in this hall took part because we have been identified as relevant stakeholders. Environment is cross-cutting. It cut across all the sectors, and that is why we have been identified. our contribution in the review is cherished by the agency. And since this is a draft document, it is important that we are all invited to come to this hall so that we see for ourselves whether the propositions we have made during the consultation by the consultant are actually reflected in the draft or not, so that we perfect this draft today.
This milestone event not only sets the stage for decisive action against littering, but also inspires a renewed sense of collective responsibility towards a greener and more sustainable Gambia. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Baikor.
The First Arts Academy in the Gambia, a pioneering institution for artistic education, on Monday celebrated its second anniversary, highlighting excellence in fostering creativity since its establishment in 2023. Hadijajo has the rest of the story.
Established in 2023 as the first art school in the country, the Academy has been inspiring transformation through creativity, empowering voices and telling stories for a better world on stage. The Arts Academy on Monday, 28 April 2025, celebrated 2 years of excellence as part of their commitment to fostering creativity and artistic talent. The event featured exhibition, live performances, and discussions on the role of art and its impact on communities. CEO of Arts Academy hailed the school as a way of producing skills with the required knowledge to create a source of employment for youngsters by creating the enabling environment to thrive in skills training.
Our achievements are enormous. It's something that we cannot list on a paper. Coming as the first art school in the country since the Gambia has become independent in 1965, and building this school within 2 years since we have been an organization in 2017 in college, and we are able to come to where we are today, training almost to 200 plus in our different areas that we do offer in the Arts Academy here, and also contributing to the social change and launching 50 careers plus when it comes to creating self-employment in the country, because we believe that the art has the solution to solve the unemployment rate in the country. And that is one thing that we have been doing. When it comes to also preserving our culture, we have been doing. When it comes to also making sure that our tourism is able to be boosted to the next level, we have been doing it.
The Arts Academy is an institution of education and research that trains youth and people on art skills, public speaking, poetry, drama, comedy, drawing, painting, photography and videography, crafting and carpentry, dance, storytelling and graphic. CEO Ba further emphasized the role of art and the impact the institution creates for the society in terms of preserving the country's rich culture and heritage.
Yes, because you would understand that art is everywhere, basically. Art is the medium, that the conscious societies use in order to make sure that they're able to preserve their culture and they're able to communicate to their people. Art is as important as it is, having our ferry being panned and you are able to, import experts to come to your country to be able to solve it. Art has the solution. You understand? Because today when we train our young people in the area of craft, we are giving them the skill of engineering. We are giving them the skill of architect. These are the people that started at a very early age to be able to know how to build a house, how to build a boat, how to build a car. This is a country that, over the years we have been finding very, very difficult in order to even produce a match, to be very sarcastical. So now we in the Arts Academy are building a generation that is going to solve the problem of the society.
The creative arts sector has consistently been proclaimed as the bedrock to national development due to its focus on skills training, self-employment avenues, and economic impacts on gross domestic product of economies. Former administration assistant Fatu Emba shares her journey at the Arts Academy.
Skills is the only thing that can make, the world grows, and that every other person should learn skills in order to be, self-employed. So my stay here as an intern does not only stop there. I have learned a lot of skills when it comes to painting, when it comes to graphic designing, when it comes to crafting, when it comes to dancing, when it comes to poetry, and also public speaking. Then I cannot even stand, look at camera or to talk. Like, it's very difficult for me to do. But now, alhamdulillah, I am not perfect, but I can stand and then, speak out whatsoever that I have in me. And with the belief of Abduba and the belief that I have in myself and the work of Arts Academy, I am who I am today. And
the event brought together students from different schools to attend the anniversary and also have the opportunity to learn painting and poetry, among others. My Bintu Fati, a student of Future Generation Senior Secondary School, expressed joy in being part of this celebration, describing it as an opportunity for her to learn new things when it comes to poetry.
Actually, when it comes to poetry, I actually learn the basic elements when it comes to poetry, the basic and the major elements when it comes to poetry, like the stanza. Before, I never knew that if you want to write a poem, what are the basic needs that you're supposed to add into it in order for it to be a poem. But by attending the Art Academy training, I now know that we're supposed to have a stanza. We have literally device, which is the figures of speech, lines, and yeah, something like that.
Meanwhile, with the inception of this Arts Academy, it aims to encourage people to think outside the box, explore new ideas, and express themselves in unique ways for artistic endeavors, but also translate into other areas of life, and also provide opportunities for people to engage in creative problem solving, innovative thinking, and imaginative exploration. For Star TV News, I am Hadijajo.
Well, UNA Islamic Microfinance and Wallet over the weekend organized a health walk event uniting employees from various divisions in a spirited effort to encourage fitness and healthy living within the organization and the local community. Marietta Toure has more.
The event kicked off at the UNA Bursubi office, bringing together employees and management in a spirited effort to encourage a healthier lifestyle. With lively music setting the tune, participants engage in an 8-kilometer walk that aimed to inspire regular exercise and foster a sense of community well-being. Saro Dabo, head of HR at UNA Group, highlighted the significance of physical activity, noting its positive impact on productivity and reduction of workplace absenteeism.
Of staff came out in their numbers, and the essence of this is one, to promote health among staff members. We all know that walking regularly is a good thing for the health of everybody, and that's one of the main reasons why we organize this, to show staff that we care about their health, and to also encourage all of us to be doing this regularly so that we can be healthy. They said health is wealth. And to have a healthy mind, you must have a healthy body.
And reduction of workplace absenteeism. Yankuba Mambure, the managing director of UNA Group, recognized the need for a healthy workforce, which leads to a more efficient organization, noting the Bureau's commitment to employee wellness.
Health is key. If you are not healthy, you cannot work. And if you cannot work, you cannot serve the staff, or you cannot serve the customers. So it's very important to be healthy. As they say, a healthy body is a healthy mind. Because when you are healthy, it's good for you individually, it's good for the organization, it's also good for the customers. So it has benefits, be it financial benefit, be it psychological, be it physical benefit. When people are healthy, tardiness is avoided. When they are healthy, absenteeism is avoided. And even any form of lackadaisical behavior is avoided. So as a result, we encourage everybody to be here, and we are very hopeful that this is just the beginning. Hopefully, at least once in a year, we'll embark on something like this to make sure we all come together.
Staff member of UNA Group, Fatou Ba, expressed her appreciation for the initiative, and it is set to transform their well-being.
ñu ngi gërëm suñ management bi di leen sant bu baax a baax ci opportunity bi ñu jox ni te lii tam ci wérgu yaram la bokka Monday ba Friday foo toog di liggéey at least tey dimanche nga génn dox ko at 8 kilometers ba fii so loolu moom sant yàlla bu maga maga.
The health walk concluded at the FIFA Goalpost project, where participants enjoy a friendly football match, further promoting teamwork and camaraderie. This event not only encouraged physical fitness, but also strengthened relationships among UNA Group staff, reinforcing the institution's dedication to fostering a healthy and supportive work environment. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Marietta Toure.
Well, we'll now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more news.
It's time to break free from data limitations. We've just reduced the cost of our data bundles by up to 60%.
Simply dial *120# to get going.
Use AfriCell now and enjoy the highest quality, fastest speed, and the most reliable network.
Nickel millionaire at AfriCell. $3.6 million is to give away. Simply buy a minimum of $10 in credit or data worth $10 to stand a chance of being a millionaire. To enter the weekly and monthly draw, send WIN by SMS to 772 or just call 772 for free. Remember, the more you buy credit or data, the more your chances of being a millionaire. Be that Nickel millionaire at AfriCell, right?
The International Court of Justice has begun 5 days of hearings into Israel's humanitarian obligations in occupied Palestinian territories. Member states have raised concerns that humanitarian work in Gaza is in danger of collapse because of the blockades. Israel is boycotting the proceedings, calling the UN court anti-Israel. Al Jazeera's Rolly Challenge reports.
At the top court of the United Nations, it was the UN that opened this 5-day hearing on Israel's humanitarian obligations. These are twofold, UN lawyers argue, based both on Israel's occupation of Palestinian lands and its signature to the United Nations Charter.
United Nations operations on the ground, specifically for UNRWA, have faced increasingly difficult conditions. Following the enactment and implementation of the Knesset laws, the issuance of visas to UN personnel has been further denied or restricted, and actions have been taken against UNRWA personnel in connection with their duties for the organisation.
Palestine's legal team were given much of the remainder of day one.
It is about Israel unravelling fundamental principles of international law, including their obligations under the UN Charter. It is about Israel turning Palestine, in particularly Gaza, into a mass grave for Palestinians and those coming to their aid.
It is Israel's killing of UNRWA staff, 295 so far, and its efforts to shut down the UN's Agency for Palestinian Refugees that prompted the UN General Assembly to vote for the International Court of Justice to step in. Israel's defense will be submitted in writing, not in person.
Israel decided not to take part in this circus. It is another attempt to politicize and abuse the legal process in order to persecute Israel.
After more than 40 countries have spoken over 5 days, the judges will go off to decide. It will be an advisory, non-binding opinion, but its consequences could still be far-reaching.
So even though the opinion itself might not be binding, the law on which the court has adjudicated and its findings, as a matter of general or international law, are indeed binding. That's the first thing. Second, regardless of whether or not it's binding, whatever the court says will have an impact politically, because the court is the principal judicial organ of the UN.
If the judges decide against Israel, they will add to the growing body of international law that holds it in breach of core humanitarian principles. Of the 40-plus countries speaking here this week, perhaps only 2, the United States and Hungary, will be supportive of Israel. And that says much about its current standing in the world. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera, The Hague.
Well, BRICS foreign ministers meet in Brazil to strengthen multilateralism and counter the economic impact of U.S. tariffs. Foreign ministers from 11 BRICS nations have gathered in Rio de Janeiro to boost cooperation and multilateralism. The meeting comes amid concerns over the global economic slowdowns, particularly due to the U.S. tariffs, with the IMF wants could harm global growth. The bloc aims to expand its influence in global trade and diplomacy. Al Jazeera's Monica Youngvi reports from Rio de Janeiro.
The meeting took place against the backdrop of escalating trade and political tensions between the United States and several BRICS nations. But in Rio de Janeiro, BRICS foreign ministers stood together, presenting a united front. Originally formed by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the group has now expanded to 11 permanent members, representing half the world's population and a third of its economy. What binds them is support for multilateral institutions under pressure after the U.S. pulled back from international agreements and imposed unilateral trade tariffs.
Nesse contexto,
In this context, BRICS has a vital role to play in strengthening the principles of international law, supporting the peaceful resolution of disputes, and promoting the reform of multilateral institutions, particularly the United Nations and its Security Council, to better reflect current geopolitical realities.
As host, Brazil is trying to strike a balance, pushing for global cooperation without turning BRICS into an anti-Western bloc.
The Brazilian BRICS presidency will try to present a positive agenda, not an anti-U.S. or Western agenda. But it is difficult since U.S. President Donald Trump is prioritizing his own agenda, which is the opposite of what the group wants.
In his opening remarks, Brazil's foreign minister addressed ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Sudan, but placed special emphasis on the war in Gaza.
It is necessary to ensure the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, to secure the release of all hostages and detainees, and to guarantee the entry of humanitarian aid. A just and lasting solution to the conflict between Israel and Palestine can only be achieved through peaceful means and under international law.
Talks pick up again tomorrow, this time with representatives from 9 partner countries. On the table, artificial intelligence, the shift to clean energy, and health cooperation. These discussions will set the stage for the BRICS summit in July and the COP30 meeting later this year in Brazil. Monica Yanakiev, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Well, before we go, a quick recap of our headlines. WACA hosts Gender Responsive 2025 to 2029 Climate Action Plan Validation Workshop. NEA gathers stakeholders to validate 2025 anti-littering regulations. Gambia's first Arts Academy marks 2 years of inspiring transformation through creativity. UNA Group launched Work for Health to promote wellness among staffs. On the international news, ICJ hearing UN court examines humanitarian duties of Israel. BRICS foreign ministers meet in Brazil. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of wonderful programs. Once again, thanks for your company. Well, I am Fadera. Thanks for watching. Do have a wonderful night. Bye for now.